Hi, this is a demonstration of how to compile and run and also edit a Java program just using the Windows command line interface. Some of you may not have ever used the command line interface before. There are websites that tell you a lot about it, but I'm going to summarize all that you really need to know here. I should let you know I'm running Windows 7. Some of the details may be slightly different if you're using a different version of Windows, but they'll be pretty similar. So the first thing I need to do is start up the command line, which I do just by entering in the program name CMD, and there we are. I'll move this window up here. Now it's telling me I'm running Microsoft Windows, and it's telling me what directory I'm currently in. Users MALAM, that's just my current personal directory. Now I've got an example program that I want to show you, and it's in a subfolder of that. So I'm going to say dir, meaning tell me what's in this directory. And it's got a list of all these subdirectories. You can tell these are names of directories and not files because of the dir thing over here. That's a file. The rest of them are directories. And you can see my documents directory. Well, I want to go see what's in there, so I'm going to change to that directory. So CD for change directory, documents. Now I can do a dir again to say what's in the documents folder. And you see I have a folder called demo program. That's where I want to go. Now I can try just typing cd demo program, but there's a little bit of a hitch here. The command line processor does not believe in file names or folder names with spaces inside them. So if I do this, I'm going to get error messages because it's going to be looking for two different folders, one called demo and one called program. It's not what we want. So one of the ways I can get around this is just to quote the whole file name. I'm using the left arrow to backspace, and I can insert characters like that. The other way I could do it, the lazy way, get rid of this. I did that with arrow keys and delete and backspace. I can just say connect to DEM, and DEM is already a unique prefix, meaning that it identifies only one, it matches only one of these four subfolders. So that's all I have to type. I can hit the tab key, so tab right now, and it says you must mean the one called demo program. So that's nice and lazy. I like to use tab a lot. Now I'm inside the demo program, and I see that I've got two files in this folder, hangman.java and words.java. Now what this program is one student's solution, a very nice solution to a fun program that we did as an assignment several years ago in CISC 124, which was a hangman game. Now it's split up into two files. Hangman.java has all the main logic. Words.java is the dictionary for hangman, which I supplied to the students. So if we want to run this program and see what it's like, the first thing we need to do is to compile it. We'll need to compile both of these Java files into what we call bytecode, or a class file. The command for the Java compiler is javac, and now I need the name of the file that I want to compile, which is hangman.java. I could have been lazy and used a tab for that. So I'll hit enter, and it's going to pause a minute, and comes back with no feedback. That's a very good sign. If there had been anything wrong, we would have gotten a bunch of error messages. But that means, the lack of feedback means it compiled just fine. So let's look at our directory now. And we've got a bunch of new files, all with the extension .class. Anytime you compile a Java file, you get a class file with the same initial name. In this case, we also got some extra class files. These two come, hangman with garbage after it .class, those come from inner classes inside the hangman.java file. And we're going to learn about inner classes later in the course, and you'll see how that works. You also might notice that we had words.java before, now we've got words.class. It cropped up too. What's happened is that the Java compiler is pretty smart about dependencies between files. It noticed from the contents of hangman.java that it's using stuff from words.java. So it says, okay, she must want me to compile that too. So it went ahead and did that. So anytime that you want to compile an entire program, all you have to do is ask to compile the main .java file, and it will compile everything for you. So the lazy person in me really likes that. Now we've got what we need to run the program. So to run the program, we just need to ask the Java interpreter to look at the code in hangman.class and run it. So the command for that is just Java for the Java interpreter. And now I just specify hangman. I do not write .class, just the name of the class before the dot is what I need. It's one of the most frequent ways to get mixed up. Java C command needs the whole command line, the whole file name, including the .java. The Java interpreter command just wants the name of the class without dot anything. So I'll hit enter and it's going to start the program running. And this is a GUI program. We'll be using the swing library, which we'll be learning about. And it pops up this nice looking window. And let's actually go ahead and play a game of hangman. So E and A, and let's see if it has a T. I know what the words are, so that's starting to look very familiar. I think it's encapsulation, so let's see what happens. I need an S. There we go, and I won. And just for fun, let's see what happens if I'm stupid about this. We have a whole hangman over there, and I lost. So computers won one, I've won one, and now we can quit. So that was a very nice program. But I want to show you before we stop what would happen if we wanted to make a change to it. Maybe we found an error, something isn't working right, or maybe I've just found something I want to change. So just for an exercise, let's say that I don't like this orange color. I'd rather have this background up here be white. Okay, now I'll quit. So I'm going to need to go in and edit hangman.java to make that change. Now, if you've taken 121 and are used to Python, you're used to using what we call an integrated development environment, which means that the interpreter, compiler, an editor, other tools are all bundled up in one. This is a very basic system that will run the compiler and editor for compiler and the interpreter for you. But we want an editor. The easiest way to get one is to go back to the GUI, the main way you interface with Windows. And I'm going to open up this demo program in my computer. And here's the file that I'd like to edit. So I can open it up with Notepad. You all have Notepad built that comes with Windows. I actually prefer a program called Notepad++. Just has some nice extra features, easy to find on the web if you like it, but you can use Notepad if you want. So I'm going to open it with Notepad++. So here we are. I'm going to make this a little smaller so the recording works better. But this is the program. Now what I want to go to, I'm going to scroll down to the place where she's talking about colors. The sun orange was the color, that orange that I didn't like. So I'm going to change this. I'll comment out the rest of the line. I'll change this to color.white. Okay, so now I'm saying what I'm calling orange, I don't really want it to be orange, I want it to be white. Don't worry if you know what that means. The important thing is just that I made an edit to this and I'm saving it. Now we'll open up the command line again, and if I just go ahead and run the program, I'm going to get the same behavior as before. It's still orange because I'm using the old .class file. I haven't recompiled the program. So I have to do Java C, hangman.java, and Java. Now I can do Java hangman. Comes up looking just the same, but this area is white. If I'd made a mistake, if I'd made a typo doing this, right after the Java C command, there would be some errors in there telling me what line the errors were on, what kind of error it was, and I could go back and fix them and recompile. So the cycle is you run Java C, and if you get error messages, you go to the editor and fix them. Once you've done Java C with no errors, you go on to do Java, And if the program doesn't work the way you want it to do, you go back and do some more edits, and you have to remember to compile before you run again. So that's a really simple example of how you use the command line processor. And it's a way that a lot of us actually prefer to run Java. It's really simple, no frills, but it works great. And that's all.